What's up, guys? This is Bunny Muffins here with a new video. I'm going to be doing a VOD review of a Ranger game that I had where I had a pretty good high roll, but you'll learn how to guarantee first place when you do high roll, which is something that not a lot of people know how to do because sometimes they don't push their advantage properly and end up getting second instead of first, which is a huge difference over the long run. On this patch, I like bow first since I think it's the most flexible item. So we're going to go ahead and start with that one first. So we got bow from that first creep round. Over here, you don't really need the Jace. So I know it's optimal to hold him on because minions drop a lot of good stuff, but I was just feeling a little lazy there. So here we got gold, and obviously with the items that we have where we have two bows, we definitely want to at least try to go ranger since we have the Vayne and the Varus already. Not completely necessary to do. These items are very flexible. We could go rapid fire cannon for maybe a Draven comp. It's good for Aurelion Soul with the tier. There are a lot of directions we can go in, but at this point in the game, I'm already thinking of Rangers just because I like them. I think they're very strong this patch, and I have the perfect items for them. And after that drop, that pretty much sealed the deal. The thing is, building Static Shiv and Rageblade can work in a lot of other different compositions as well. You're not completely tied to Rangers with these items, though that's probably the composition that they are best on. I go ahead and stack the items on Fiora. Reason being is that she's level 2, and I'm likely going to sell her, so I don't want to commit to putting items on anyone else yet. So here, I just pick up the Kennen. I think he's a really strong unit. Of course, I can't overlap anything else, but with the Lucian, we have the Noble buff, so that's the strongest thing I could put in right now. It's a little unfortunate that Noble buff hits my Vayne. I would have won in any other scenario. But we get to 10 gold here, mainly because all the other units that we had weren't really useful for our composition. So I just go ahead and econ up, because that's probably the most consistent thing to do, because I already have one pair, and Varus is pretty strong on his own as well. And since I am stacking only one person, I don't want to risk the Noble buff anymore to not hit my Fiora, so the Knight buff's more consistent because it gives her more protection at 4 units, since I can't run Nobles and 2 Knights. So in this carousel, ideally you want another attack speed bow, just because when you're going Rangers, bows are so important, but since I'm last pick, don't really have that many options. Honestly, Tier and Magic Resist are probably the best items here. Magic Resist is really good because you can build Dragon Claw on your backline, so whoever you stack multiple items on, you could just throw a Dragon Claw on them if people are running Sorcerers. So that's why I picked that up. It's also really good for Hush, and if no one does have Sorcerers, you could put Hush on Varus, and it's a really good combination because he'll end up hushing someone and then burning their mana as well, so it guarantees that they won't get their ultimates off. Get to 20 gold here, which is really nice. I just go ahead and throw the Negatron Cloak on Fiora as well, since again I know I'm going to sell her, so I'm not too concerned with wasting items. Not wasting items, not utilizing them. So I was thinking about going Pirates. As you can see, we picked up the Graves and the TF along with the Pike. However, since we're win streaking, and I think we're pretty strong with the items that we have, I want to just keep that up instead of getting the guaranteed gold from Pirates. If we weren't win streaking, I would play Pirates 100% though. So here we pick up the Vayne, which is huge. We get the Mordekaiser, which is something we need to start building if we actually do intend on committing to Rangers. We're not 100% committed yet because the 3 items on Fiora, they're great for Draven. Just get a BF sword and make a Bloodthirster, and we have the Darius already, so we could still transition to Blade Masters, but obviously the items are more suited to Rangers, but we're still pretty flexible here. We got gold, which is good because it got us to 40 gold, but if we didn't, we'd just sell Kennen. So again, I level up here twice because I want to keep my win streak. When you are win streaking, you definitely want to do as much as you can to keep it, because right now it'll give me I think it gives 2 extra gold now, so if I lose 2 interest but keep the win streak, it's still worth it. So Brahm's obviously very useful with Ashe. I'm not sure if I should have sold Fiora yet to put the items on Ashe. Because Fiora is level 2, so she gets a lot of value from it, whereas Ashe is only level 1. So technically Fiora should live long enough in order for you to fully utilize the items. So here, this queue isn't really that great, but again, I keep on rolling because I want to preserve my win streak, because I felt a little weak with only having the Fiora with my items. We get pretty lucky, we hit the level 2 Ashe, so we're able to probably just econ from here, just because level 2 Ashe is such a big power spike. And I sell one of the poppies to get to 30 gold because we're strong enough. We have the Brahm, so we don't really need 4 knights from the poppy. So I value the gold more there. And here I'm just scouting to see how much AP there is, because maybe I might want Dragon Claw. Yeah, since there wasn't too much AP during my scouting round, I just go ahead and pick up the Hush. So you might notice that I'm running Lysandra right now, and that's because with 4 Glacial, it's really strong with Rageblade Ashe, and it pretty much halts all the damage enough to give you enough time for your Rageblade to build up stacks for Ashe to just solo the game. Also, I don't want to build Hush yet because I don't have Varus out yet, so that's the reason why you see it on my bench still. I could have put it on Leona because I'm probably going to sell Leona because I'm probably not running Guardians. But yeah, you'll see again, since the last game was pretty close, I level up here just to get more units out on the field. And since I had a 2-star Darius on my bench, it gave me a lot of freedom to just, or not freedom, more incentive to level up since I had someone strong to put in. And at this point, my win streak gives me 3 gold, so losing like 2 gold of interest, again, isn't that big of a deal since I'm win streaking really hard. So we're really just looking for Varus now, so that we could build the Hush. So here there are a lot of choices for items. We could go Zephyr. It's not really time to build Zephyr yet. Zephyr's much more suited to the super late game. Redemption's pretty good, but we don't have Guardian Angel, so it's not as useful as it usually is. But if I do end up getting a sword from this carousel, then obviously I want a redemption, but it's a little risky waiting for that. I opt into going for the Warmogs because I feel like that one's more consistent right now, just based on what items we have, and I don't really have that much of a use for the belts. I could build a red buff, but red buff is more suited for the early game, and we're getting later into the game now. So I'd rather save the chain vest for a potential Guardian Angel for Sejuani. And obviously, I don't want to touch the Tyr or the Negatron since I am building Hush. End up losing the win streak here because we didn't spend that much gold and we faced the Assassin player, but that's okay. Once we get Kindred up and running, which is apparently right now, Assassins are much easier to deal with, because if Kindred ever ults with the rapid fire cannon on your Ashe, you pretty much are guaranteed to win. And you'll notice here I'm level 7. I found the demons. Just like in my other guide, I like running 4 rangers and then 2 tanks and then an extra demon as my 7th person just to have the mana burn. And in combination with the Hush, it's huge. You also don't want to build Hush on Ashe because you want Ashe to either have 3 damage items or 2 damage items and 1 defensive item, and Hush is kind of more utility. Yeah. Once you get 4 rangers and the Rage Blade pretty much wins on its own. So we're definitely looking for sword in this carousel. Other options are, I could use a red buff only because I don't have a Morellonomicon. I could use a Night buff, and Frozen Heart's okay as well, because I could throw it on Sejuani and she gets more mana so that she can ult more easily. Luckily, we get the BF sword here. So you'll notice that I'm holding a lot of gold. The reason is I want to hit level 8. So right now I'm counting how much there is there, and since it's a clean level up, I decided to go for it and put in 4 glacial. Yeah, Hush is so good. It just shut down his Shyvana, which is his biggest damage dealer. Yeah, so I see the Pantheon, and Pantheon's probably the strongest unit in the game right now. And I only have a level 1 Mordekaiser, so I do think it is worth it to put demons back in and the Pantheon for Guardians in that scenario. Luckily, my team's so strong that we won before Pantheon even ulted. So on this Wraith camp, we're really just looking for ideally Runon's Hurricane for Ashe or another Rage Blade, but it's doubtful that we're going to get them. And right now I'm scouting to see what type of composition I want to pivot to. There was mostly physical damage. Also, unfortunately, here I get the worst item you can possibly get at this point in the game because there are no more full items on the carousel. Or there are no more item components on the carousel, so Spatula doesn't even allow me to use the stats on it. But I can't really complain too much since we got Pantheon 2 and we have really good items anyways. So yeah, Pantheon's an absolute monster. And once I hit Pantheon 2, I gave up on pretty much everything else and committed to running Guardians. One thing you do want to keep in mind is you want to have Varus and Ashe hitting the... Varus, Ashe, Anivia, and Sejuani hitting their high priority spells in the front, so they're tanks with a lot of CC. We didn't get to line it up here, but you'll see in the other matches where we just completely shut their team down because we're hushing and freezing their most important units. So because I'm so far ahead and I could use my life as a resource, right now what I'm thinking about is how do I hit level 9? And who can I put in for it? Mordekaiser's probably the best one, mainly because it gives me Knight synergy and it gives me Phantom. And Phantom, it can just win games on its own. And when you have a high health total, Phantom's even better because you can have multiple chances to Phantom their best unit, for example. Yeah, I go for the Redemption here, mainly because I have the Guardian Angel, so Sejuani is pretty much unstoppable. So you see here, I lined everyone up to hit the Sejuani. Sejuani can't do anything. She does manage the ult because there was a split second where she wasn't CC'd, but I was able to clean it up right after that. So here it's 56 to level, so it's a pretty clean level up, so I just decided to go for it here. And then once you're level 9, not much reason to hold on to your money, so I just kind of sell everything and roll down. If we hit other legendaries, great. If not, we get to have a full team composition, and you'll see that we have 4 Rangers, 2 Guardians, 2 Phantom, 4 Glacial, and 2 Knights. And I'm getting all of that without having any Spatula items, which is actually insane just because we were able to hit level 9. Guardian Angel's pretty good. Don't really have that great of a user. I think I should have put it on Ashe. I end up putting it on Pantheon, but I think Ashe is the best target in case she gets instantly one-shotted from like a cheese or something like that. But yeah, also one good tip, you don't need to use your item right away. You could always wait until the game starts, see who gets focus, and then put the item on that person accordingly. And I just put the Spatula on Vayne just because in case he swaps in a Hex Tech at the last second, it kind of increases my chances of not getting completely destroyed by that. So you'll notice here that my Pantheon was dying, so I just went ahead and popped pop the Guardian Angel on him, but it didn't really matter. But yeah, that's how you high roll. You try to keep your win streak up, because you get more gold from a win streak than from interest. Sorry, you get the same amount of gold from a win streak as you do from interest, but you keep your health up and you damage your opponents. Another thing that you want to keep in mind is when you have a lot of health, you could save up and go for level 9 and get sort of unstoppable synergies going on. And also, if you do happen to high roll into a level 2 legendary, for example, you need to switch your comp to accommodate for that because those units are just so strong. I don't know if you noticed, but in a lot of the fights, Pantheon actually outdamaged the Ashe with 2 damage items, even though Pantheon had nothing in his inventory. So when you do hit the level 2 legendaries, it's always a good idea to try to commit to them and build your team around them rather than trying to tunnel vision a certain build that you were trying to go for from the beginning. But yeah, that should be it. Thanks so much for watching. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe. And of course, smash that like button. Each like is an LP I gain before the next video.